Now this got me really interested. Mr. Chua Tiao Chai, who is the Deputy CEO of Mapletree Investments, has actually purchased 250,000 shares of Mapletree North Asia Commercial Trust. Now, if you're an existing shareholder, that is a vote of confidence. Fantastic. And that actually got me excited as to looking at this REIT again, because I've kind of not looked at it closely enough, even though we had a previous video, which is this 5 ideas for May, whereby I featured Mapletree North Asia Commercial Trust. But right now, this vote of confidence really needs my attention to look at it again. So today I'm going to share with you a few key parts. I'll give you an overview if you haven't already found out about it. By the way, my boy is at the back there. but let's continue. I'll give you an overview of MNAC. I'll also share with you, the developments it's trying to do in Japan, because that is crucial. And last but not least, I'll also be sharing with you what is recovering in Festival Walk, because that's a crucial asset that they own. So if this topic interests you, continue watching on. Hi guys, welcome back. Now if you don't really understand MNAC, let me try to help you understand what it exactly owns. And this is a very good infographic. Over here, it shows you that MNAC actually owns assets span all across Asia. Hong Kong, which is of course Festival Walk. China, which has Shanghai offices and Beijing offices. South Korea, and in particular Japan. So there's actually a new acquisition done very recently. So total number of properties is no longer 12, but 13 properties with asset under management of more than $8 billion. Now what is that new property acquired? It's actually Hewlett Packard's office in Tokyo. So this was actually acquired for close to $500 million Sing dollars. So it's pretty sizable amount, but it's going to inflate the portfolio by only about 5% thereabouts. So with the acquisition, the dividends per unit is expected to increase to 6.3 cents, which is pretty good. And this will give you a yield of about 6% if you buy at today's share price at close to $1. So even after acquisition, the leverage ratio is still less than 42%, which is pretty respectable and manageable. Now, let's look at the financials, because there is a story to tell you about MNAC. Many who are in this community have actually invested in MNAC because they've looked for opportunities when this REIT was under distress. Do you remember what happened in Hong Kong? There was rioting, correct? Properties such as Festival Walk was badly damaged, and there was concerns whether Hong Kong would recover fully to allow tourists and attract businesses to the country itself. So that period has kind of passed really, that tension period. And that's actually captured in FY 1920, because bear in mind, FY 1920 is actually 1st of April 2019 to 31st March 2020. So what do you realize? The DPU is actually dipped from the previous year. And then what happened for FY 2021? That's actually 1st of April 2020 to 31st March 2021. It's of course the hit from COVID, correct? So Festival Walk, which is a shopping mall, actually suffered in terms of footfall and revenue and stuff. So the $1 million question is, will MNAC be able to recover back to FY 18-19? Because that was the peak in terms of dividend per unit. And in the following sections, we'll discuss and dissect the assets to give you a good sensing whether the chance is good or not. Now in this section, let's talk about Festival Walk, which is based in Hong Kong. Festival Walk, if you look at this chart over here, constitutes 44% of net property income. So it's a very important asset of MNAC. That's why we're going to dissect it to get a sensing. And before I get there, let me invite you to smash the like button. It's taken our team hours. Oh my babies, kind of crying again. So today's filming, not so easy. So again, smash your like button, because it's taken our team hours to actually put these slides together and taken me some time to present it at a difficult time. So Festival Walk is very important, and I've actually read every comment that came onto our channel, and one in particular which I'd like to do a shout out is actually Expansion Pro's comment. Thank you so much. Expansion Pro is based in Hong Kong. So he's actually shared that he himself is not going to Festival Walk to eat and shop that much. He used to go there a bit more, but right now he's not going there too often. And the main part which I discovered from this dialogue is the shops over there target mainland visitors because it's a major interchange station for cross-border train. And now the border is still closed due to COVID. That is a very important sharing, because if we look from the surface, we don't really know who's the main crowd. So when I first looked at that comment, I was thinking, could that be like City Square in JB, which requires Singaporeans to go there, because City Square right now is in big trouble. Singaporeans can't go over. The prices that the mall charge, the goods they sell, the food they sell, are too expensive for JB citizens. Singaporeans are the main crowd that goes there. So if it's like City Square, well, this mall is in big trouble. So let me bring you on a quick tour. What do we realize, in using this Google Maps part? If we look around, you'll see universities. This is actually University of Hong Kong. It's right beside it. And if we look around behind, there's actually a mountain. If we look at the other side, you realize that, hey, there is probably some residents and some other malls in the vicinity also. So looking at big picture, we realize that there's not only one university, but 3 universities in total, and of course the major train station that runs underneath it. My guess is Festival Walk is probably not City Square, if not, it's in trouble. It's probably closer to VivoCity actually. VivoCity has some residents nearby, like residents in Reflection, that awesome condo. And then it relies a lot on people traveling to Batam, Bintang, using the ferry terminal. So VivoCity is a good explanation of what Festival Walk possibly is looking at right now. In any case, Festival Walk's value is 4.5 billion Sing dollars. I didn't realize it's that big. It's even more worth than VivoCity actually. So back to the point, with it having so many universities, that got me thinking, could that be the reason why it was smashed? Because as we know from that riot, a lot of university students were involved in it. So Festival Walk being so near to them was an obvious target in a lot of ways. But the interesting part is Festival Walk has actually seen some recovery in terms of footfall and in terms of sales. So that is a good indicator. In any case, the damage has been repaid by insurance already. So not a big issue, no losses there. Although the insurance proceeds cannot be distributed as DPU, dividends per unit. So back to the point, this portion, a large part of recovery to FY 18-19 heydays needs Festival Walk to be performing well. So let's be very clear on that. In any case, Festival Walk is doing a lot that it can do. It's been reviving the mall itself by creating a lot of promotions and sprucing up the mall. And then what we can also see is in terms of the weighted average lease expiry, Festival Walk has some that's expiring in the coming year ahead. But that's expected of any mall. And the main thing is to look at how well they are able to price, for new tenants that's coming in or existing tenants that are renewing. So 44% of revenue comes from Festival Walk. The other half comes from mainly China and Japan. Korea's contribution is very small. So let's focus on China and Japan. Now, China has 2 key assets. One is Gateway Plaza. This is a big contributor. See, this Gateway Beijing occupancy needs to be strong. The second is actually Sandhill Plaza. So these are offices. And the main thing is the Shanghai one seems to be doing much better than Beijing one. China's real estate seems to be looking to recover. There is a lot of supply, but also a lot of demand, especially for grade A offices, of which these 2 are. So these are quality offices. And let's move on to Japan, because that to me seems to be where MNAC is heading towards. Japan's GDP is not shrinking as bad as it seems, even though the Tokyo Olympics is a big sticking point. You realize that right now there's a lot of debate as to whether to move ahead with this Tokyo Olympics or not. It's scheduled to go in July, August. And from the latest, it seems they are going to push ahead to just try to make economic gains of it, in my opinion. But that's for another story. The main part is Japan actually has very low borrowing costs. And that's why it seems that MNAC is focusing on Japan as it acquires assets. They are taking advantage of this spread, which means you borrow cheap, you can get yield from your property, you are likely going to deliver income, especially to you as an investor. So that's a pretty smart strategy. Individually, we can't buy properties in Japan that easily. So hoping that we can invest in a REIT like that gives us exposure to Japan. So what are your thoughts? Is Mapletree North Asia Commercial Trust a good REIT to invest right now? Leave your thoughts and comments in the sections below. And if that, also invite you to smash on the subscribe. We'll be launching videos every week to help you in your financial journey. And if there's an update down the months, I'll be sharing on this channel with you. So if you haven't seen a previous presentation, let me also invite you there. That presentation is updates of Suntec REIT, which also owns offices, and Mapletree Commercial Trust, which owns VivoCity itself. So if you're keen to really understand what are the various REITs you can get invested, follow their subsequent tutorial. It will show you more options and you can decide for yourself which is a better REIT to invest. With that, I'll sign off from here and see you there. Take care and goodbye.